Mohammed Al-Fayed has released a security video from the Ritz Hotel in Paris showing moments from the last few hours in the lives of the princess and her son Dodi. The Spencer family told the BBC that they had no objection to the release of the video.
Diana, Princess of Wales, and Dodi Fayed arrive at the Ritz Hotel in Paris for dinner. Photographers are there to greet them, but are kept at bay by security staff who escort the couple into the foyer. Mohammed Al-Fayed reportedly didn't want to release this security video, but felt it was necessary to counter what he said were misleading allegations that had been made. Allegations that the driver of the car in which the princess died, Henri Paul, here pulling up at the hotel in his Mini, was drunk. Mr. Al-Fayed's staff claim this footage shows a man steady on his feet and clearly sober. They say all those pictured with him have given evidence backing that view.
Hotel security stopped the...
At a news conference at Harrods, a senior forensic scientist who spent 2 days in Paris at the request of the Al-Fayeds said the pathologist's report suggesting Mr. Paul had drunk excessive amounts of alcohol was not reliable.
In my view, given that Mr. Paul died a violent death with extensive internal injuries, the possibility of contamination of the blood is a real one and must be seriously considered.
Journalists were told that Mohammed Al-Fayed would dedicate the proceeds of an auction of the Duke and Duchess of Windsor's collection and £5 million either to charities supported by the princess or to set up a children's hospital. His spokesman also said he'd been authorised to give a few details of what he said was the sincere relationship between the princess and Dodi Fayed.
The princess also gave to Dodi a pair of cufflinks. They were the last gift she had received from her father, the late Earl Spencer. She said that she knew that it would give him joy to know they were in such safe and special hands.
The couple are pictured here at the back exit of the Ritz just before leaving on their final journey. The Al-Fayeds say there's no sign of photographers as the car pulls away slowly, but a large crowd is waiting at the front. These startling images of the last few hours in the life of the princess and of others who are accused of playing a part in her death cannot answer why the accident happened, but they shed some light on what happened immediately before the crash and on the incredible pressures the princess faced from the paparazzi. This afternoon, Dodi's father, Mohammed Al-Fayed, made his first public appearance since the tragedy, greeting the crowds gathered outside his store to thank them for their support. Jane Peel, BBC News, Harrods.
Preparations are continuing for tomorrow's funeral at Westminster Abbey. Millions of people are expected to converge on the capital, with hundreds already preparing to spend tonight outside the Abbey, some for the second night in a row.
They have saved their places outside Westminster Abbey and they won't give them up for the world. For many mourners, a distant glimpse of the funeral simply won't be good enough. This evening they're bedding down for another night, sleeping rough so they can be as close as possible to the heart of the nation's grief.
I just feel it is my duty to be here to say goodbye to Diane, my princess.
I don't think I would have done this for any other member of the royal family. I really don't.
I brought my 12-year-old daughter up because in many years to come she'll have children of her own and grandchildren, and she'll be able to tell them what it was really, really like here, how it felt to be here.
There is so much to prepare for tomorrow and so little time in which to do it. Giant video screens are being hastily erected in Hyde Park. They'll relay coverage of the funeral to some of the millions expected in the capital. Inevitably, security is one of the principal concerns for the authorities. So too, of course, is crowd control. The police are ready for an extraordinary number of mourners and they're confident they can cope.
This is a unique event, as has been said before, and estimates range from anything from 1 million to 6 million people. Whatever numbers we get here, we're confident that we can deal with them.
This will be the biggest funeral in London since that of Winston Churchill more than 30 years ago. Some 27,000 Metropolitan Police officers will be on duty tomorrow. Most of the force have had their leave cancelled. Their aim, they say, is to ensure that those who come to mourn can do so not only in dignity, but also in safety. Hundreds of portable toilets have been put in place. But mourners are being urged to think twice before bringing babies and young children to what may be an arduous day in a crowded capital.
The message is be prepared. Bring plenty of food, bring cold drinks, bring hot drinks, bring warm clothing, very important, and bring waterproof clothing, very important as well. And let's not forget, although we have installed a lot of additional temporary public toilets, there will be very long queues.
Tonight, mourners are setting off from all corners of the kingdom to converge on the capital. Each journey a personal tribute to the princess, each traveller determined to bid her their own farewell. Some trains are being doubled or tripled in length, and many extra rail, bus and coach services have been laid on. Police are appealing to people to come by public transport. Many of London's roads will be sealed off tomorrow, and those that aren't will be clogged up. This evening, shops and businesses across the country have closed and won't reopen in the morning as a mark of respect for the Princess of Wales. Meanwhile, some of the 1 million floral tributes laid in London have had to be moved to make way for the funeral cortege tomorrow. Buckingham Palace say they're carefully considering what to do with the sea of bouquets, but certainly all the messages that accompany them will be collected for the royal family to read, messages that together help express a nation's sense of loss. Ben Brown, BBC News.
The princess on an island at the centre of an ornamental lake within the grounds of her ancestral house at Althorpe in Northamptonshire. It was a favourite place of hers as a child. She was to have been laid to rest at the village church at Great Brington, where generations of her family are buried. Her brother, Earl Spencer, explained that the arrangements had been changed so that the grave could be properly looked after by her family and visited in privacy by her sons.
Deep in the Northamptonshire countryside, the Spencer family home is peaceful and quiet. Princess Diana's last resting place will be an island in the lake, set a little apart from the house and away from the village and the public who have so idolised her in recent days. The coffin will be carried onto this tiny island and buried alone. According to her family, they want her here where they can tend her grave and where her sons can visit her in peace and privacy. The ground has been specially consecrated to make it a Christian burial site, a short service carried out this week by the Bishop of Peterborough.
I think it is very unusual. I would say it is almost unique in my experience, certainly, but clearly in this very extraordinary case, it is exactly the right thing to do.
Generations of the Spencer family lie in the local church, and at first it was planned to bury the princess here too. But it's a quiet village, and the family was worried about both public safety and security. Already thousands have flocked to the gates of Althorpe House simply to pay tribute. Many local people welcomed the decision.
I think for her family, the boys especially, it's very important that they can go and visit her whenever they feel the need.
At least she'll be safe on Althorpe grounds, and she'll be able to rest in peace.
I'm not sure how Diana herself would feel, because she was very, very, very fond of her father, wasn't she? She might have preferred to be laid to rest with him. But in the circumstances, maybe it is the right decision.
So great is the public interest, the Spencer family are considering when and how to make the grave accessible, and they're also discussing a permanent memorial outside the grounds.
Tomorrow, the funeral procession will sweep in through these gates, bringing Princess Diana's body home. This peaceful community will never be quite the same. Jackie Rowley, BBC News, Althorpe House.
Done.